took us a little bit to get going, but once we did, I felt like we, both offensively and defensively, had some of the best we've played all year, especially in that end of the first quarter, second quarter stretch. We put up 62 points in one half, which is pretty unheard of from any kind of women's basketball. But what do you think, from your perspective, was good for us tonight?
Well, after the first 5 or 6 possessions, I thought we got in a good rhythm. We started getting the ball where we wanted to. Inside-out game was working well. Hit some shots in rhythm, and once that happened, we really caught on, and it didn't matter who was shooting. We were knocking down. I think we were 10 for 20 in the first half for threes. A lot of that also fed off of our defense, which is typical for us. We need to be playing good defense. It kind of feeds our offense. But then we changed things up a little bit. As you mentioned, we had 60-some points there in the first half, and it was rolling well. Felt like time to work on some other things, and when we adjust that, it got a little sloppy in the second half a little bit, but took the opportunity to work on some 1-3-1 defense and doing a little different things offensively that we haven't worked on a lot yet this far into the season. So created some difficult situations for us to work through, which is good. We need to be able to adjust on the fly and adjust the game plan, and so that was good. Felt like we really did have one of our best halves, not counting the first 4 or 5 minutes of the game, but just took that long to get in a rhythm, which coming off of a break the way we did, that's kind of understandable. Pretty happy overall.
I asked you this at halftime, but defensively we came up with a number of different stops, forcing 21 turnovers. I think it's a little higher than that, but what do you think was key in the defensive pressure?
Well, we adjusted personnel a little bit from what we've done in the past with the press. Had Kendra up front, Julia and Bridget starting out in the backside of the press, and they seemed to work really well together, so I think that was a big plus. And feeding off of those turnovers again, then hitting the shooters for open threes. And we had a lot of people have good games. I thought Mandy Bates came in, played really well. Sarah Thompson came in, knocked down shots like we know she can, and tipped some balls. So those are things that are going to show up later in the season. I think that we build some confidence from players off of this game, whether it's next game or 10 games from now. They can look back and go, yeah, I can play this position and do these things, and they might not have ordinarily gotten some minutes or played in those positions. So some really good things we can take away from this, not just the scoreboard, but some of the things we tried to do and were successful at.
Hannah, let's go over to you and talk a little bit about, from the player's perspective, the offense. Like Coach said, it took us a little bit to get going, a couple of turnovers right away, but then you guys, you in particular, knocked down a couple of threes and kind of started the offensive onslaught. So what do you think was key? I think at one point, from the midway point of the first quarter to halftime, it was like a 46-9 run. So offensively, what was going right for us?
I feel like we just really started working well together. We started pushing the ball and looking for our open teammates and swinging it well, and just looking for whatever the defense gave us, and just found the open man.
You're one of the veterans on the team as well. It's been a tough couple of weeks for the team. So coming into tonight, we knew we had a little bit, I don't want to say weaker opponent, but we knew the game was going to be one in which we could experiment and get a lot of confidence with. What were you telling some of the players coming into the game?
I was really telling them not to, take anything lightly, just to get out there and play our hardest, and to respect them. They're a college team just like us, and any team can be any team on a given night, so we had to show up and we had to play to win.
Sha'Ron, you've made an impact in a couple of games now of coming off the bench and really providing a spark when the team needs it most. Tonight I think you hit your first 2 or 3 shots in a row. At what point when you hit those first 2 or 3 shots were you like, I'm feeling it, give me the ball?
Well, once we got into the shark, as we call it, our press, I knew then that I was going to get some easy baskets, but I didn't want to get too ahead of myself, but we stayed in it and were able to create turnovers from that.
Defensively, as we talked about before, we haven't seen the press a whole lot from you guys this year, but Coach wanted to work on it a lot tonight in preparation for other games this season as well. How do you feel like we did tonight?
I feel like it went well. I think moving Kendra and having Bridget and Julia back really shake things up for us because we normally is different. And then when I came in with Brianna, we're up front and we're just able to jump right in it, and then it just kept going from there. So I think that was good to switch positions so we all are comfortable with those positions. But once we got in it, it was gone.
I'm going to ask both of you the same question. Big win tonight brings us back to 6-6 on the year, but as we move forward from this, from a player's perspective, what do you think we have to take from tonight into Thursday against a really tough Southern Wesleyan team? You can go first, or
I go. Defense, as Coach was talking about, closing the middle. One of the guards, 23, she got in there a lot, and we really have to close out on the guards of SWU because they will get in there and make those shots as 23 didn't tonight. So we really have to do better at closing out and watching on our turnovers.
Kind of what Coach said about confidence. Just need to take away that we can play ball and just to believe in ourselves and just to show SWU we can.
Awesome. All right, Coach, kind of the same question going into Thursday. It's we've seen SWU already once this year, and they're a tough opponent, tough region opponent, so what are we going to do between now and then to prepare for that?
Well, I think starting the game last time against SWU here, we played some really good defense. Had them down 18-6 or something along those lines. Let them back into the game with a couple of quick threes, and it became a real hard-fought battle from there, and we ended up going down by 17, I think, or so at the end of the game. But we know we can play tough defense, and that's going to be the key. And it was one of the things we really wanted to focus on tonight, defending the bounce, not getting beat off the bounce, and that was really where we had some big breakdowns against Southern Wesleyan last time. And I think both looking ahead, Southern Wesleyan and North Greenville, we've got to do a really good job of keeping them out of the paint, keeping them in front of us, and not causing our help to have to come and then leave some shooters open. So that'll be a big focus in the upcoming games.